Hi everyone, hope you're doing well from wherever you're watching this channel, depending on your time zone. Now, we all know when William Ruto wanted to issue a statement on the finance bill, Gachagua rushed to Mombasa to go again and issue a statement on the same. So we had two top leaders in this country who are issuing statement after statement. These leaders are in the same office, presidency. One president, another one deputy president. So it was so much surprising, and Khalwale decided to react to Gachagua's move to go and issue a press statement where he purported to be advising the president, but a bit of warning him on why they failed on the finance bill and way forward. So in Khalwale's question is directing it to top leadership of the Kenya Kwanza, Gachagua, Musalia, and Wetangula. At first place, he's asking Gachagua a simple question. Where were you before the bill was passed to give that critical advice to the president? Why wait until when people have been killed is when you are offering your advice to the president? Ulikuwa wapi? And the question. Then it goes to Musalia Mudavadi and Wetangula that when things were going wrong, where were you to stop Ruto or advise him that this issue of finance bill, we, lawyers, we don't want it. Sisi wa lawyer, we don't want it. So Khalwale is clear that the lawyer people's position was that finance bill is not good, and for them it was Tawe. Mudavadi, who seems in that organization, comes from Western, was in a better position to tell William Ruto that wale watu wa kule ninatoka wanasema Tawe. Same thing to Wetangula. But they never advised William Ruto on finance bill, and it has caused big problem. So he's also putting a blame on these individuals. First of all, listen to him, then we are going to continue with this discussion.
President, kama umenisikia vizuri, wakati ulileta mswada wa finance bill, mimi maswali ni kwa wanaume watatu. Deputy President Gachagua, Chief Prime Minister Mudavadi, and Speaker of the National Assembly Wetangula. Hawa wanaume watatu nimeona wakati kimeumana Nairobi. Gachagua, Deputy President, ametoroka Nairobi, amejificha Mombasa huko, hadi anatoa statement anasema Your Excellency Mr. President, ungefanya namna hiyo. Gachagua, mbona ulitoroka Nairobi mahala penye ilikuwa imeumana? Na number 2, Gachagua, kama ulikuwa na jambo ya kuambia rais, mbona ulikuwa unaambia rais kama tayari inji imebasuka? Why didn't you give him advice, the advice that would have preempted the mess that the country went into? Therefore, I want to ask Deputy President to stop pretending kama hako na advice, yeye wanakaa na rais, ampatie hiyo advice, ndio watoto wetu wasiendelee kudhulumiwa na kupoteza maisha yao. Waluya wamechangia, Ruto amekuwa president, hiyo kura imechangia wewe Wetangula ni speaker, imechangia wewe Mudavadi ni chief minister. Question is, Mudavadi nende Wetangula, where are you? No makuba kalika katinya, mwamera mriku kaya president, makuba haka Waluya shukwenyanga.
Now, Gachagua as the deputy president is the principal advisor to the president. So he sits in a very better position to advise the president. And therefore, if Gachagua thinks that he is a good leader, the way he believes, the best thing he would have done is number 1, to advise the president. And if the president is not taking his advice, he had also another option number 2, to come to public and declare his interest and his position on finance bill, so that Kenyans will know Gachagua's position is this, and those members of parliament who are allied to Gachagua would be whipped to vote in that direction. He missed that. He had also option number 3 to resign, because if I am being paid to advise you and you don't take my advice, what business do I have in that office if you disregard the advice that I'm offering to you that I believe is the right direction to take? He had also a chance to resign. Instead, he assumed all of this. But he waited until the bill had been passed, people were on the street, a lot of property destroyed, young lives being lost, then they go and issue a statement, which cannot bring back to life our people who were killed on with live bullets. Hawakurudi hai, na hakuna vile wanaweza rudi hai. As Khalwale is talking like this, his position was very clear. He came in a press briefing and he said that he is not supporting this finance bill. He had an advice to William Ruto. In fact, this is a senator elected on William Ruto's party, UDA party. So it was clear, in as much I am in UDA, I have my own position, which is the position of the people that I represent. Yes, we don't vote in the Senate on finance bill, but he declared his interest and pushed for the members of parliament to think about the people's position. So it was clear. Khalwale, in his advice, he told William Ruto, if you have a project you want to do in 1 year, please do it in 5 years, so that you can have a budget that is not so oppressive to the people, so that you do slowly, and in 5 years you achieve that project. Rather than putting a heavy yoke on the people's neck, suffocate them, and deliver your project in 1 year. That was his stand and advice to William Samuel Ruto. So before you address Wetangula, Mudavadi and Gachagua, Khalwale, in my view, is justified because he had a position he stood for. But these three, they did not come out clear with their position as far as the finance bill is concerned. Remember, Khalwale is the majority whip in the Senate and ameperusha bendera ya serikali. But this man was clear.
According to the Constitution of Kenya, the responsibility ya kupitisha, ya kufanyia amendment ya finance bill haiko katika mikono ya Senate, iko katika mikono ya National Assembly. The proposals that are being made for purpose of amending the finance bill, members of the National Assembly must listen to it. This country is not going away. If you wanted to build a project in a period of 3 years and it is forcing you to tax mwananchi more, there's nothing wrong in you spreading it out. You build the project in 5 years so that you tax mwananchi less. I'm confident that next week Parliament will unlock this. In fact, I'm going to be glued on TV. I see how Fred Ikana will vote. I want to see how Shinali will speak. I want to see Ersi. If Ersi Mohanda is truly who she says she is, she should now live beyond politics of skirts, wearing skirts and being fit in skirts. Now she moves into politics of analytical thinking. I'm waiting to see that Peter Salasia will move out of TikTok and push the agenda of the people. I'm waiting to see that Nabulindo, MP for Matungu, who worked in Parliament for many years before he became an MP, will take advantage of having been a senior officer in Parliament to do the right thing. I'm waiting to see Aseka Miradi, who I hear has some training in accounts, to emerge and be seen. And so do I expect of Dindi Mwale So do I expect of this guy from Likwani, Mheshimiwa Mugabe? We want to see whether Mugabe has now moved out of the little officer he was in the county government of Mombasa to now a national leader. This is what we are waiting for. We are waiting for Nabi, who I understand was a senior manager with Coca-Cola, to show his credentials. We have to help the government to succeed. We have to help the president to succeed. And we do so by making informed debate and informed voting on the floor of the House.
Now, as we conclude our panel discussion, just a quick request for those who are watching and you have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing. To our returning subscribers, I must say thank you so much. And again, to all our viewers, please give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much, and back to this discussion. Now, for me, when Khalwale speaks about finance bill, I take him serious because this is a man who read the mood of the people on the ground and he understood. Therefore, he came out even to whip members of parliament from Kakamega County to say no to finance bill. It was a tower. So for me, when he speak about finance bill authoritatively, I take him serious because he declared his interest, which was against William Ruto's wish. So he was going further to ask himself, Mudavadi and Wetangula, why were you not advising the president that this thing will your people? That is what he said. We don't want it. For Mudavadi, he's talking about protecting the president and the presidency by voting for the finance bill. Therefore, there was no way Mudavadi would speak for the people. So he comes out as a man who has lost touch with the people on the ground. He has failed. You talk about Wetangula. For him, in the National Assembly, his main business is to make sure that he's rushing to pass bills that are in favor of what the executive wants. So he has become, an extension of the executive. He seems to be part of the executive when we have three independent arms of government: the executive, the National Assembly, the judiciary. National Assembly imekuwa ni kama extension of executive. They deliver to executive what they want and how they want it, yet they are here to represent the people's position. So he also failed when he had duty, and by the way, he's still a party leader of Ford Kenya. Majority of Ford Kenya people, they were whipped to support in that finance bill. Only one, Majimbo Kalasinga, voted against it. So these people, literally all of them failed. That's why Khalwale is questioning them. For Gachagua, if he had come out clear earlier and say that I don't support this, Gachagua would be the darling of the people. But you see, his advice is not holding at all because he's doing it at the wrong time. Maybe for his own political gain or interest.